Okay, one more crazy retailing story. So there was a day in the wintertime in Vancouver, and for those of you who play Dungeons and Dragons, like third edition had just come out, so we had a huge bookshelf with all the Dungeons and Dragons books and everything. We had a an area that was grid walled off that was a back office where one of my employees was doing like data entry and stuff, and I was at the front counter and I was ordering all of the books out of the previous magazines. And this guy walked in, and this is how long ago it was. This guy walked in with a Blockbuster video bag.
Well, you're talking about that area. I mean, that could have been like last week. There's still one around there, kind of.
Well, yeah. He had a pint of, like, I think peach schnapps or something with him, right? And he walks in. He's like, "Hi guys, first time in the store," and it's like kind of blizzarding outside, right? We're like, "Well, welcome in." You know, he just walked in off the street. And he's looking around, and he's kind of looking at all the bookshelves and everything. We can, let us know if there's anything. First rule of retailing: always greet your clientele. Ask them if there's anything that they're looking for, if you can help them find, and then kind of feel it out if they want to engage in chat with you and they want to find something, or if they just want to explore the store on their own. So this guy was kind of the explore the store on his own kind of guy. So you just say, "All right, let me know if you have any questions," and you go back to doing whatever you're doing. Well, we had this building that my store was in was an old feed store, so like it was divided. There was like a lower area, which was the front room, and then there was a back issue room that you went upstairs, like a half flight of stairs. It's kind of like it was the raised dock area where they would use back in the day, where the feed would come in, right? So that was back issues, that whole room. So this guy's over looking at this huge bookshelf, and then out of the corner of my eye, I see him just dart up the stairs, And so quickly, I kind of stick my head in the other room. He's looking around at the back issues and stuff. I'm like, okay, nothing weird. And I had a camera back there where I could watch. It wasn't recording, but I could watch what was going on back there. So I'm like kind of glancing, watching. Okay, everything seems normal. And the guy goes to leave. And he walks up to the front door and he says, "Well, thanks for letting me look around, guys." And he says, "See you later." And as he does, he waves like this, like, "See you later." And his shirt comes up and he has all 3 of the core D&D books stuffed down the front of his pants. And I'm like, "Hey." And he goes, "I made it out of the store. There's nothing you can do now." Those are the rules.
And everyone knows.
He casually starts strolling down the sidewalk.
He's like, "Ollie, oxen free."
Right? And I'm like, so I yelled at my employee. I said, "Hey," I said, "call 911. I'm telling which direction I'm headed." And so I ran out the store and I'm following this guy down because it's like $100 plus worth of books, right? At the time. And the guy looks over his shoulder. And so he's kind of hastens his pace. And we go up and I don't know if you guys don't know the area, but I was on 4th Plane and then Mill Plane towards Clark College. So it's up this hill. This guy starts going up this hill, and it's
blizzard
snowing.
Conditions, which, by the way, are completely unusual for that area, especially at that time.
Right? It's snowing, and we're hastened pace, and me not being the most physically fit fella. We're both huffing and puffing, and the guy looked over his shoulder at me, and he goes, he's like maybe like 20 feet ahead of me. He's like, "Just tell your boss I got away." And I said, "I got bad news for you. I am the boss." And so the guy goes up, and there's a little jog in that thing, and it goes up, and there's like actually the alcohol detox rehabilitation center. Funny thing, kind of. And he kind of jogs around this corner, and so I come walking up, and I can see his footprints in the snow. They go over into this little alcove, and there's an alcove. It's kind of got like 2 little walls, and like there's a little inlet on either side in the door to go in, and you can see his breath coming out from behind this thing, like he's hiding, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dude, I know you're in there." I'm like, just give me my books back, and I will turn around and walk the other way. Not tell the police which way you went. Just give me my books back. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. So I walk up to the entrance to the thing, and he comes out, and he has the books in his hand. And he looks at me, you can just see the thought process. And at some point, the gears just didn't. And he throws the books down and he starts swinging. And so here we are brawling in the snow outside the Alcohol Rehabilitation Center.
Probably no stranger to such a scene.
It's just insane, right? So we're fighting, and I finally get the guy pinned, right? And there's like this work release crew there, and I'm like, hey, I don't know if you guys know what a work release crew is. Like people who are out of jail to do a job, so they're out doing, I forget what they were doing, shoveling snow off the sidewalk, maybe something like that. I said, hey, call the police, somebody, this guy's a thief, he's attacked me, assaulted me, and I'm holding him down. And one of the guys comes over and he's like, hey man, we're on work release, you can't be doing that here, we're going to get in trouble. And he goes to pull me off the guy, and the guy gets up and knees me right in the chin. And again, we're brawling, we're throwing down again. And about that time, 3 cop cars pull up with guns drawn and like, freeze. And we're both, and he go, who's the bad guy? And I'm like,
who's the bad guy?
Right, who's the bad guy? So
not it.
Yeah. Their books were ruined. They smashed in the snow. They got ruined. Turned out the guy had some mental health problems and was drunk and all of that. So all I really got out of it was I got to put a restraining order against him ever coming in my store again. But there you go. There's a funny retailer story. I think I want to do a show like it is just like retailer stories, because there's just a ton of insane retailer stories.
Oh, I bet. The guys need those books bad. It must have been one of the steps. Yeah, the story. I mean, all over some D&D books, man. Like it's just right? It's crazy.
My wife was so mad because she's like, so over $100 worth of books, you were willing to risk your life. At that time, we had just had my first son, and she was so mad. She's like, your life is worth more than $100. That guy could have had a gun, he could have had a knife, could have had who knows what. And I was like, yeah, but it was $100 worth of books, and those were my books.
Yeah, well, I mean, $100 today doesn't seem like as much, but I mean, back then that was even a little bit more.
It was a lot back then.
Yeah. I mean, it should seem like a lot, but unfortunately, it isn't today. But yeah, it's crazy. Well, I'm glad you ended up being okay, because I spent like 15 years in retail management, and one of the first things we would always train people to do is not chase after people stealing because of what could happen. But also the world, unfortunately became a scarier place too.